got on that first field goal attempt by Carlson. But nonetheless, it's a big, beautiful stadium. The Super Bowl is going to be in a good spot this year.
Yeah, is that your first time calling a game there?
Yeah, it is. First time seeing that stadium. I saw it under construction on a previous trip to Vegas, but yeah, it's a big, beautiful stadium, I think, and a great spot for NFL football.
How's the eternal flame for Al Davis? The big fake
You know,
LED eternal flame.
Here's the thing. Okay, let's have an eternal flame. Why don't they leave it lit all the way through? They just, have somebody, some celebrity or whatever, light it for each game. But yeah, I mean, really, and I
Right.
couldn't tell.
We're going to call it an eternal flame. The eternal is exactly. All right. Let's start with this question. It's been a while since I've seen such a smash mouth game plan. Was it because the Raiders were throwing a coverage at the Packers or coverages that dictated this is the way to go? Or was it a statement from LaFleur and the team after they found out that Aaron Jones was not going to be available?
I think it was a statement. To me, it looked like the game plan. I think whether Jones was available or not, this is what they wanted to do. They felt they had to establish the run in this football game. I think they did a heck of a job. They stuck with it the whole night. That's the other thing, Czabe, that I thought was good about it. They did stick with that game plan, and they ran the ball effectively at times.
Meanwhile, on defense, they couldn't do much to slow down Max Crosby, but then again, nobody has done that this year. The problem I see is that, Aaron Donald, TJ Watt, Joey Bosa, Aiden Hutchinson, Chris Jones, they're all coming. So there's going to be game wreckers in the next 6 to 7 weeks they're going to have to account for. What can they do better, and what happened last night?
Well, Crosby's, in watching him on tape all of last week, I think he is an incredible player. His motor never stops. The other thing about Crosby, unlike a lot of pass rushers who play on a high energy edge, he doesn't come out of the game. He plays almost 96% of the snaps for the Raiders out there. And, he's going to get his sooner or later when he gets that many reps, and he's just a great player. I know there are other great players coming up. It's the NFL. You're going to see one almost every week.
When we talk about it, a lot of people are upset, angry, but what are some of the positives that we can take away from this game?
Well, I think they got, A.J. Dillon's performance, I think, was a positive last night in that ball game. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think the way the defense played, the 4 sacks, they had 6 tackles for losses or thereabouts, 8 quarterback hits, something like that. They had an interception, 4 pass breakups. That defense stood up and played well against a Raider team that has a lot of weapons besides Devontae Adams on it, especially when you look at, Jacoby Myers, who led the Patriots in receiving 3 consecutive years in his career. So this is a talented Raider team that I thought the Packers did a good job of. And I thought Green Bay's defensive line got the better of the Raiders' offensive line. And I understand that's not a strength for the Raiders.
When you look at the play of Jordan Love, a lot of people say there's a regression. Do you see a regression, or do you just see kind of teams trying to figure him out a little bit and him trying to figure some things out as well?
I see a quarterback who, from what Larry McCarron and John Kuhn said last night, maybe forced it a little bit. I see a quarterback learning on the job because, when people say, well, you have 3 years to learn this thing under Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, but there's nothing like being in there week to week and experiencing it. And that's where the learning curve is coming in. And Butchie, yes, are people, defending him better? Yes. And his receivers aren't getting a lot of separation out there. And that's been the case all season. So this is a situation for a young quarterback where he's learning. And if you talk about growing pains, we talked about them all through training camp. If you want to know what growing pains look like, that's what it looks like.
Wayne, watching this team the last few weeks, it felt like it was easier to pinpoint one area that this team struggled in that cost them the game. Not saying there was only one, but it was easier. Last night, the whole team seemed to be a mess. Regardless of where you were looking, there was a problem. Is that just from a fan base perspective, what I saw, or was that reality?
No, I think it's more of a fan base thing. When you see a game where your team doesn't score 20-plus points, that kind of thing, you think the offense is a mess and everything else. But, I really don't think so. I think that, you had a young quarterback. He threw 3 interceptions in the football game, 2 of which were really consequential. The last one was, hey, you take a shot into the end zone. You're late in the game. You got a chance with a 6'5" receiver out there that maybe if the pass is there, you can make a play on it. But instead, the defensive back, who, by the way, was the Raiders' 4th string cornerback because they had injuries last night, made a brilliant play, made an outstanding defensive play in the end zone on that last one. So I know, Josh, I don't get the feeling the Packers were in disarray in this game. I really don't. But again, I think they're offensively struggling with some things right now as Jordan Love finds, he's going to have to make an adjustment. It's like in baseball, when a hitter comes on from the minor leagues, he has a great first 10 games or so, and then the pitching starts figuring him out. He has to then make an adjustment. I see that analogy applying to Jordan Love and the Packers offense in general.
All right. A couple things here. Injuries. Darnell Savage left with a calf injury, as well as Quay Walker left with what was his injury again? They
Knee.
both did not return to the game. Knee. So which unit is in worse shape, linebacker or secondary with injuries?
Wow. Boy, without their 2 inside linebackers and, hope to get Devondre Campbell back for the next game in a couple of weeks and hopefully Quay Walker as well. But, that defense played the second half basically without those 2 guys. And I thought, they were outstanding. I really do think they controlled the line of scrimmage. They were stout against the run. They made life hard on Jimmy Garoppolo, but the Raiders and the veteran quarterback made just enough plays to get it done. But I think the linebacking core is in tougher shape right now.
Is there a place to get a running back, any running back, to give this team some depth, some wiggle, some burst, some dimension, something if Aaron Jones is in and out the rest of the way?
Yeah, no, what I was going to say was exactly that. Aaron Jones being healthy. Guys, I honestly think he practiced last week in a limited fashion each day. But as Larry McCarron told me, he practiced less and less each day. And that was kind of the tip that he probably wouldn't play against the Raiders. I think he's close. And I think what they were hoping of, okay, let's get through this week and then get him back healthy for the stretch run. Can they get a guy that can make a difference at running back for the second half of the season? If Aaron Jones is healthy, he's that guy.
All right. Very good. Wayne, as always, a pleasure. God bless you for waking up early. And we will go ahead and forget all about this in the week off as the team and a lot of us in the media take a couple days to reset during the bye week. Safe travels, my friend.
All right. Rinse and repeat. Okay.
And except for dishes. Do you rinse dishes or no?
Rinse dishes, yes.
Okay.
But I don't wash.
You're not.
You don't have to anymore, Wayne. We've learned you don't have to.
Apparently, according to a study, Washington Post, you do not need to rinse dishes before putting them into the dishwasher.
Overrated.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, overrated. Go figure. Who knew all these years? Okay, Wayne, thank you, buddy.
You too, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Wayne.
Our conversation with Wayne Larrivee brought to you by Coal